between things, nuts. That one. It's quite heavy and hollow. First session at the boom done, super rippy, pretty solid. But yeah, spent most of the time just paddling around. Oh my god, down there. That bit was so heavy down there. That bit, look, taking that on the head. But yeah, caught one or two waves, just one okay one, super rippy. And yeah, a bit more solid than it kind of usually is out here, usually surfing when it's a bit smaller. Yeah, that saw some crazy ones, so hopefully when the swell backs off a bit and refines itself a bit more, we'll get some like really sick ones, but good to be back. That was a sick little mission. Yeah, a couple of fun, real fun, like little head dips. Oh, so many flies out here. I was just paddling around for ages in rips and then eventually just found like a couple of real dreamy head dips. For the first hour, barely caught a wave, and then like by the end, it got like a few in a row that weren't like crazy long, like oh my god, like tubes. They're just like real fun little peaks with like a nice bit of vision, and you can't really complain with that. It's just so fun. Here we are at Los Clavos Resort in Nicaragua. Thank you so much to Lapoint for making this trip happen and bringing me to this beautiful place. As you can see all around us, it's an absolutely amazing environment. The camp's got dorm rooms, privates, you've got a pool over there, restaurant, bar area, really fun wave out the front, which is really special for a camp to have that. Not many camps have that. Although it's a pretty chilled, laid-back camp, if you're a solo traveler, yeah, it's a really good place to meet new people and make new friends. So if you're an advanced surfer, you want to take advantage of the surf guiding. You're going to get taken to the best waves when they are the best waves. You'll be able to tap into that local knowledge, which is always beneficial. If you're a beginner or intermediate, you can take advantage of the surf classes, and yeah, you'll get really good coaching in really fun, relatively easy to surf waves. And this area kind of has a little bit of everything. You've got like rolling whitewater beaches for beginners and sort of progressive intermediates. And then there's sort of like reefs and points and other like more punchy beach breaks for sort of the more standard intermediate level. And then there's some more interesting, like heavier beach breaks as well for, you know, if you're an advanced surfer and you're looking to get tubed. Whether you're looking for surf guiding in Nicaragua or you're looking for just a really good surf camp in Nicaragua, I'd highly recommend Lapoint. Again, thank you so much for making this trip happen, guys. I'll leave the link in the description where you can check it out. Wow, that's cool, isn't it?
was ridiculous. Oh my god.
Whoa, that was so fast.
Whoa. 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 That was sick. Whoa. Whoa. During the wet season here, so between April and October, there are huge storms basically every single day. And the reason for that is basically you get like the moisture buildup over the land, and then it meets like the hot air, collides, and you get these crazy thunderstorms and this super heavy rain. In the morning, you'll get really clean, like glassy conditions when the land is nice and cool. And then as the sun heats up the land, all the air from the land starts to rise. And as that air rises, you get the cool air rushing in from the sea. And that's what creates the onshore sort of midway through the morning. When you get a storm like this, it cools everything down again. That's another huge flash. It's getting closer. This storm feels like it's right on top of us now. So depending on what time of day the storm happens, so sometimes you'll have it really early in the day, sort of early afternoon, sometimes late evening, but then you get like another opportunity to surf like clean waves late in the afternoon. This trip was in the wet season, which is really, really consistent for swell. There's almost always waves. In the dry season, you still get very consistent waves, but you get a lot smaller swell, generally speaking. So yeah, solid swell quite a lot of the time, which was obviously pretty good for me, but if you're a beginner or intermediate, it's something to consider. There are breaks that you can go to that are sort of tucked away from the main swell as well, which is really cool for an area to have that. Generally speaking, you get the offshore-onshore weather pattern like you do in many tropical countries, whereas down south in Nicaragua, because of Lake Nicaragua, you have like an offshore basically all day, which is pretty sick. In the north, you don't have that, so generally you've got to make the most of the mornings. And then basically all the breaks require like high tide really, so generally you want the high tide to align with the morning offshores. That's like the magic combo. Yeah, it's a pretty chill area, you know, it's somewhere that you come to just go surfing. There's not much else to do. That said, we did do a pretty cool volcano hike one evening. It's generally just a place to work on your surfing and just enjoy being somewhere that has a much slower, more relaxed pace of life. In terms of safety, I think Nicaragua now is a pretty safe place. Like, had a lot of political problems in the past, but I've been there on 3 occasions now and never really had any problems, especially in like the sleepier places. You know, once you go outside of Managua and you're just hanging out in these little surf towns, you're going to be pretty sweet, especially, you know, if you're staying in the bubble of like a nice surf camp. If you want to score waves and have a good time, I'd highly recommend Lapoint. Thanks again, guys, for making this trip happen. Any questions, please feel free to ask down in the comments. For now, it's goodbye from me, and I'll see you in the next episode.